everyone.
Yeah.
And Juan is here who saved us too.
Yeah, welcome everybody. It's the Tuesday night marathon, and I'm feeding Master Paul Whitehead. We're with Nick DeFermian, and Judith Starry right here.
Yes, and as you guys can see, we are back at our very original location, right? Before pandemic, we used to do it from here.
I'm going to try to make it so that I can watch the stream.
Yes.
And we're getting back to where we used to be.
And then
round 3 of the Tuesday night marathon. And
and I'm gonna set up the boards for Paul so that he can change the boards and yours.
And here we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, do you want to sit there? That's good. And then your guests will sit here. Okay.
Yeah. You Judith, be my first guest.
All
right. Hey, Nick.
Hey, one thing, the Tuesday night marathon is back to where it was in the last century. Before that, we didn't have so many people. So despite the pandemic, we are back.
Yeah, I mean, there's like 70 people out there. They actually almost worked the other room. They almost opened up the other room.
Yeah, so one more board, and I think would have had to. So
yeah,
we are really, really close to full capacity, and then almost back to pre-pandemic. So
it's incredible.
Yeah. Okay.
The only difference is everyone's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Except,
they look better that way.
Yeah, Judith and I don't need to wear one because we're in the.
We are staff.
And we're checking how it sounds, the volume to
if
people
any
who are
of you
listening.
are listening, if you can give us a thumbs up of the quality of the voice audio, that would be amazing. But otherwise, it's. We are staff, and if amongst us, just us, then we don't have to wear a mask because we agreed that we are comfortable with each other.
Right. per the protocol here.
Yes, but
at the Mechanics Institute.
I think today will be the very first time you are actually going to have guests, players.
Yeah, that's right. We invite them in after the game, Nick, just like we used to do, and then we rake them over the coals.
Yeah. And Rico, thank you so much for your feedback. Good. So we had our first feedback.
Good. Thank you.
And that's the camera you
So the audio sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
And you can move the games there. And
yeah,
perfect.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go in TD.
Okay. Judith, along with Juan Sendejas, have basically solved all of our problems right now, and we're going to this is round 3 of the Tuesday night marathon. Let's go up to board 1 and get straight to the action, where Elliot Winslow, I don't know what the standings are. Is Elliot the only perfect score? Elliot's the only perfect score with 2 points, Nick.
Well, can I ask you, Paul, just for our viewers, so we've had these technical difficulties the last couple of weeks, but now we're back, huh? Now technical difficulties solved, back in the stream of it, and our show's going to continue to get better and better.
Yeah, it's probably a little loud for, I'm wondering if Nick's voice is a little loud.
I can mute.
No, it's not you, Nick. We
right?
just lowered it so that people out in the room don't hear you so loud. You don't have to worry about it, Nick.
I think it's good.
Talk. Say something, though.
Okay.
That's better.
I'm
That's
not going to
better.
give bad advice.
Yeah, no, you were really booming. You're just booming, Nick.
Oh.
All right. But it's not your fault. It was the volume controls here. Nick, International Elliot Winslow is playing Ed Lewis on board 1. And What do you think of this position?
Okay, let me,
We've made
let me
some.
check that out on the Twitch there. And, oops, okay, we're, I had not yet, okay. Yes.
Can you
so
see it
Elliot,
on Twitch?
Now I'm on Twitch there and all working. It's a Maroxy bind here.
Let's roll through the moves. It starts out as a King's Indian or a rat defense. And like you said, transposes into a Maroxy bind. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it's like, what do? You have a little space advantage. Not so bad for black, but white's better. So,
Okay. All right, so let's move on to board 2, where Gaziz Makhanoff with a 1.5 is white against Nathan Fong. And white sacked a pawn here or lost a pawn. What do you think? Which was it?
oh, well, this was the Sveshnikov with knight to b3, and white has played the active bishop to c4. Wow, what fun. This position is great. As you say, sacked a pawn, but the knight on e4 is hanging. If something like knight c3, you can slide in with queen g6 check. And so yes, if you play this, you have to play it like this for the white side. And wow, all sorts of things happening here.
Is this book?
Well, okay, there's the question, what did black do here? It's the knight on b4 is hanging, and queen g6 check is
apparently this is Mike Walder is on board saying bishop c3, bc3, knight e7,
which doesn't lose a piece apparently. So bishop c3, pawn e3, knight e7.
so that if queen e4, d5.
Okay, so it's wow. Okay, this is some nice theory, which looks terrible for black, but's been worked out by the theorists and the computer. So you don't play knight c3, you play bishop takes c3 check. Pawn takes c3.
But if black doesn't know this, I mean,
he's toast.
It's hard to find over the board.
Oh yeah, something like knight takes g3 loses immediately to queen g6 check, king h7, queen h6 check, king g8, queen g6 check, king h8, h takes g3 checkmate.
That's a nice checkmate.
Black has to be really careful here. So, but apparently our theorist of the ages, Michael Walder, he knows this.
All right. Live from downtown San Francisco, I'm in the chess office, and Nick is in Berkeley, joining us on Zoom. Let's go down to board 3, where David Askin is white against Kevin Reese, and this has gotten tactical too. Let's see how this came about. A Dutch. Well, these moves seem reasonable for both play. Whoops.
it's a sort of London.
Hold on a
Dutch,
second here.
Petrosian type of system.
I accidentally went to I jumped ahead to the next game. Black shouldn't worry too much about H4 there, I would say.
No, it's okay. It's okay for
hitting G6. I mean, this is kind of artificial seeming by white. Not to say that it's bad. What do you think, Nick? Have we lost Nick for a minute here? Well, hopefully he'll be back. And I'll go down to board 4 where Adam Stafford is playing Brendan Estolas. And look at this. This game is just so many moves have been played. It's a Paulson Sicilian. All these moves look kind of reasonable. I'm not sure about that. Queen A5. I'd be tempted to take on B4 here and then play Knight D1. I mean, and here Knight takes A5, Bishop D2. Bishop D2 looks better so as not to get your pawn structure destroyed. But White's playing for the attack. But H3 is slow, I would say. Should be okay for Black. Ooh. Here come the light squares versus the dark squares.
That's a nice pawn.
Yeah.
But bishops of opposite color, the weak dark squares.
It's still a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go to Christian Clemons versus Guy Argo. And this is going to be another Dutch, popular here at the Mechanics. Simple moves by White. Could have played Queen C2 first, maybe.
Yeah, kind of transposed to Queen's Indian as well as the Dutch. And Black should be all right.
I agree. No, I like Black's play here. It's been good. It's been quite good.
Very principled.
Yeah.
Putting all the pawns on the right squares, developing, attacking the center.
Good game by Black so far. All right, let's go on to board 6, which is the top board in the under 18 section, where Ronald Allen is playing Adam Mercado. And look at this.
This game is fun. Now,
right out of the King's Indian, I mean, okay, so.
But that was a bit strange what just happened.
Yeah, I'm sorry I'm messing up the. All right, let's take a look at how this went.
But that's a real Adam Mercado game. He just plays for the action.
So this is
always entertaining.
This is the Mar del Plata, right?
Yes.
A4, C5.
white is getting action on the queen side, definitely, but black is pushing on the king side. Just giving up the A pawn, which grabs.
What's going on here, Nick? This looks like one of those.
It's one of those crazy King's Indians that you just don't know what's going on, because black's really trying to checkmate white. And if he doesn't, white's much, much better. He's got a pawn. He's infiltrated on the queen side. So, and white hold him off is the question.
Mike thinks that black is killing white here. But I'm not so sure.
And what if you get, oh, yeah, I want to get rid of that bishop on c8 because it really bothers me. Can live with the one knight attacking me, but the knight and the bishop. How about knight takes c8, rook takes c8, queen to c2, and say, do your worst, because I don't see a checkmate on the king side.
Yeah. I don't either. And it's often that bishop c8 that delivers a deadly blow later on, so get rid of it. Where did black go wrong here, Nick?
Well, of course, we're not sure he has. It's very complicated. Yeah. It's I'm not about to make any assessment right now. It's Mike Walder seems to know this theory saying queen c1, but you've got those advanced pawns for black, and you need to cash in. I might have played bishop e7 just
right to save that bishop.
But
now, what's the normal way of breaking through here for black?
Well, again, there's not any completely normal. Otherwise, people wouldn't do it for white.
Right.
But
you have to be a real contortionist with black to try to get in on these positions.
Yes, you've still got your 8th pawn, those 2 knights. Everybody's got to try to participate in the attack. It's hard.
Is it possible that g3 is wrong here and that you should take on f3 and play a piece to g4 or something like that, or play h4 and h3?
Probably not. G3 is usually a big part of the black strategy.
Oh, well, see, what do I know? But while white's got that b6 square,
Yes, I think things might have gone a bit wrong for black in the last 2 or 3 moves. You need to prepare these attacks exactly, and people work it out very deeply.
Right.
So it'll be hard for us to assess it in in 15 seconds. But it looks wrong.
I mean,
for
black could take on c5 here, or play pawn a6, or there's other ways to try to play this here. Okay. All right, let's move on to back up to board 1, where Elliot Winslow is playing Ed Lewis. And so back here, Nick, we got this far. And black is cramped, right?
Yes. White's got space, that pawn on a5, and it's only small things as yet, but you might see black howling in a couple moves. lack of space, no moves to make.
You know, there might be a little psychological advantage for Winslow here too, because I heard Ed say the other day that he'd never beaten Elliott, and that that, you know, when you have that kind of record against a player, where you just sometimes it can be really demoralizing.
Well, I'd say Ed is playing a bit of strange moves with the black side, that he's not confident in his playing normal chess, that it doesn't work against Elliott. On the other hand, if he gets Elliott so overconfident, you know, one or two slip-ups, and you could get your first points against him.
And I like Michael's idea, take twice on d4 and play pawn to b6. At least it's an idea, and that's something that's important to have.
Yeah, that would minimize the disadvantage. That would be good.
Nick, did you have a certain player that was a difficult person to play against? A fellow grandmaster?
Actually, Ivanchuk gave me a lot of trouble.
Ivanchuk.
Yeah, I have to say. He was...
What was it about Ivanchuk particularly?
You know, he was so intense, and he would really calculate, and somehow maybe the openings matched up a bit of wrong, but like I'd lose half the games, I'd draw half the games, and you know,
It could also, you were playing him right when he was at his peak strength, probably.
Oh, he was terrific. He was terrific, but still, some openings and things I thought I should have done better. But he was so impressive. He was, you know, and you knew you were playing a great player. That was something. But nobody's happy to lose.
No. All right, let's move on to the next game, board 2, where Gaziz is playing Nathan, and it looks like Nathan maybe doesn't know this opening. And
so this is not our normal Gaziz.
Yeah, it is. So I guess, Bishop, if you don't know the theory here, you're going to be in some serious trouble. And that makes me wonder why you want to play this sharp opening in the first place.
But what a thing. Bishop takes c3, pawn takes 3, knight to e7, just letting your knight on e4 hang, which is absolutely the best move.
And you can follow it up with d5.
So if he can find that works. But it's hard to just let your knight on e4 hang out there.
Yeah. All right, let's move to board 3, and David Askin. And we're still having an issue on this board. Actually, the clocks have stopped. Board 3. So I'm wondering if this game is GGT. Let's go to board 4. The clocks are moving on that board. But board 3.
Still working. It's black slow.
On board 3?
Okay.
Yeah, board 3. I'm wondering why the clocks aren't running on them.
White slow.
I'm sorry. There's been more moves made.
Yeah.
Okay, black played queen c8. Takes, and back to f3. And this is another, okay, knight g5 check.
Oh, maybe he shouldn't. Well, actually, you can take that one, can't you? It's not checkmate.
No, and white can't play g4 because of queen h1 check.
Oh, yeah, G4 would be great if pawn takes G4, rook takes H5 check, but queen G1 checks a killer. And maybe he
Now black
overlooked
can
that.
just play king G8 on the next move. I don't know about this.
Okay, say castle's long. Maybe you should actually grab that pawn on G2.
Yeah.
Just because if king G8, pawn G4, pawn
Right.
takes G4, queen G6. But
Of course, black can play knight takes F4. And
yes,
he does it. So queen G2.
queen G2, or yeah, as you say, king G8 was probably all right too. That was a bit impetuous. The knight G5 check.
Yeah. All right, let's run down to board 4. This game was this opposite colored bishop position where black is a pawn ahead, but there's a lot of imbalance here. I think white should be at least okay here, but that bishop at c8 is not going anywhere.
A5 was a nice move, keeping black locked up.
But f6 is nice too. c4. Ooh. Okay. Well played.
And he decides to sacrifice the exchange
Wow.
rather than lose the b4 pawn. Very sharp.
And now threatens knight e3, but he's got rook d1, which means that black can take on f4. I don't know.
We look at this. It's like first a body count, if we may slow down. 2, 4, 6, 7 pawns for black, 5 for white. The e2 pawn seems to be a goner. Maybe the f4 pawn is a goner.
So knight
it looks like
e takes f6. I'd say white's in the driver's seat here.
yes, it looks like knight f4, rook d2, pawn e5, knight takes d7. It does pawn e5, but just take it back.
This is desperation on black's part almost here.
Pawn takes e5, you're going to lose the d2 pawn. Pawns are going to be even, and you're the exchange down.
Yep. Okay.
It's
Trouble for black. Let's go to Guy Argo and Christian Clemons.
Shout out to Guy and Christian. They're like the Tuesday night marathon veterans.
Yeah.
You see them.
Black seems to be fine here, but it's a game. Maybe
You would like the moves that Guy had played as black.
Yeah, Guy's playing a good game here. So white took on e5 and then played rook a e1, rook d8. Still a good game for black. Let's go to the top board. Oh, here we've got. Of course, we have some top board in the under 1800 section.
How's the action?
The action.
Got Action Jackson.
Behind me, the masked man himself is club director Abel Talamentes. How's it going out there, Abel?
It's going really well. Nice to see the game's up. I'm glad troubleshot some of the broadcast issue we've been having, but
They've done some remarkable things while you were away.
yeah. So and I was away because the communications director of U.S. Chess, Dan Lucas, stopped by the Mechanics Institute, and so I gave him a tour of the library. He checked out the chess room. So yeah. It was
Have
kinda
you
nice.
met him before?
Yeah, I've met him before, and so he was in town because him and his wife were on vacation.
Nice.
So it was nice that he took the time to come down and.
I said hello and communicated with him.
He's the
So-
master of communication. Right?
Yeah.
So it was funny because I took him to the library and he was saying, was talking about the chess collection at the Mechanics Institute, and his wife was saying, well, he's got a pretty big collection himself. And
Right.
He's a collector of,
Oh, there's some private collections which are remarkable.
Yeah. And probably from some of the people in the chat, mainly Mike Walder.
Yeah, that's right. Mike, how big is your chess book collection over there?
It's pretty extensive.
Yeah. I mean,
Rivals
I think there's
John Donaldson's collection, probably.
Is that right?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know either. I haven't seen. They have over 1,000 books. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
That's a lot of chess books.
Yeah.
But
John has more.
John has more. Yeah. Well,
I think so.
I wrote a column about my chess books, and there
Yeah.
are like 6 or 7 chess books, which Nick probably thinks is too many.
He's all, you only need one. MCO. Alright, I'll let you do your thing.
All right, come back.
Oh, yeah,
now.
I'll come back.
All right. Oh, ebooks. Yeah, I have maybe I have 8 or 9 chess books. 3 are on Fischer, 3 are on Tal, 4 by Averbach, and I think that's it. Maybe there's a couple more in there. Yeah.
Well, I may mention one you have, John Donaldson, Bobby Fischer's anthology.
That's right. I have John's latest book. He inscribed it to me with an interesting inscription, which I can't repeat. But it's funny. John's a funny guy. And so what's going on in this game, Nick?
Well, you have to say that white is crashed through on the queen side, so black has to be doing something on the king side, and I just don't see it.
How does he get the knight to g3? Knight f6 to h5 to g3? I mean...
Okay, the one thing is, at least when black finally lands something, it's a big punch, but
Yeah.
knight f6, you probably go rook takes e7, knight h5. You have to give the rook up with rook takes g7 check. King takes g7, and then his threat of knight g3 really strong, maybe. Probably not, but maybe. Knight f6, rook e7, knight h5, rook g7, king g7, knight takes c8, knight g3 check, king takes h2, knight f1, rook f1, rook takes c8.
Black can play queen g3 check, but that doesn't seem to do anything.
No, doesn't seem enough. No, it's I don't know, when you go backwards as he did with knight e7, somehow black's attack doesn't seem to be forceful enough.
All right, Jadoub says knight takes e4 and push e4. I like it. I like it. That's what you got to do. I mean, knight takes d5, and then push pawn e4. That has something to say for it. I like those old-time annotations, Nick, remember? You know, with interesting play.
That's true, yeah.
Knight takes d5, e takes d5, pawn e4 with interesting play.
Yeah, why not give up that knight? Yeah, I don't really believe the black side of it, but
You never do until suddenly it's mate.
yeah.
I mean, I played the King's Indian, but I never would play into these mainline Mar del Plata kind of things. I always thought it was just too much book knowledge for me. I would deviate with black and deliberately not get into this kind of discussion.
Yeah, it was probably good you wouldn't get into a discussion like this. It's an opponent who's worked it all out and
Right. All right, let's move on here. This definitely suits the player's style, though. Back up to board one, where Elliot is trying to, after knight d5, let's see. Black played knight c5, preferring not to exchange a lot of pieces. And I suppose that creates a threat of trading twice on t4 and playing knight b3, so white plays rook a3 and black develops. And what's stopping white from playing pawn to b4 here?
we can, and black will trade on d4 twice and play knight e6. And okay, black is worse. Black's very happy to exchange a couple pieces at least, because wow, if you don't exchange, you're just getting overrun. White's got you stopped on the queen side in the center. Yeah, well, I mean, white is better, a question of how much.
All right, let's go down to this game where black played knight takes c3.
Okay.
No, he played d5.
D5 first, which is a good move, probably. But knight takes c3, and we have to think about this. He's provided us with a lot of entertainment, because queen g6 check is a draw, I think. Just queen g6, king h8, queen h6, king to g8. And what do? You're yeah, what?
I mean, this variation's no good for white if it's nothing but a draw. Right. Maybe just take on c3, threatening the...
And then the bishop takes on c3 with check.
Oh, yeah.
Which, you know, maybe you just do.
I mean, maybe if white was already castled on the king side or something, but...
Well, okay, so white has a draw with queen g6. The alternatives are full of danger. Okay, those of you out there who are brave, you know, what can you do? Pawn takes c3, bishop takes c3, king to e, bishop takes a1. And okay, you can still do your draw, but you're exchanging a pawn down. Also some knight to d4 checks. So, so all we see is a draw. We don't see anything, anything more promising for white.
Well, Mike's got the idea of taking on c6, playing queen g6, king h8, queen h6, king g8, and then taking on c6. I guess you want to play bishop takes e5 and mate on g7.
Okay, this is rather good. You pick up a pawn, bishop takes c6, and you're not really afraid of a discovered check because you'd go pawn to c3, attacking bishop on b4. So that would cost black some material. Yeah, very complicated, very complicated. Right now you're down one piece with white. Pawns are even down a piece. You check and take on h6. One pawn up, bishop takes 6.
Bishop takes c6 regains the piece. Oh no, he couldn't play queen g1. Something is wrong with the DGT.
Oh, he didn't do that. Yeah.
All right, nothing to see here. Let's move on.
That's not our famous board 7, is it?
It could be. So, black did play queen g2, and on rook g1, he just played the cold-blooded queen back to b7.
Okay, so he's saying he's just a piece up. It's locked on the king side. You're not getting through to me.
Why didn't he play queen f3 though, which looks better to me?
Probably. That's probably even better. But can we find anything for white anyway in the current position? It's
I would say not.
It's because rook takes h5 check. It's not enough. Pawn takes, pawn g6 check, king g8.
There's no mate there.
It's hard to get any white pieces over there.
All right, let's move on to this game.
How did we get to an endgame so quickly?
Ooh, and can't black play king f5? With some drawing chances here, maybe? Let's see. We were here, remember? Let's try to see what happened.
Oh, yes.
Knight e7 defends the bishop on c8 and prepares knight c6. White decided, instead of playing rook a8 and losing the a5 pawn or something, played knight d7.
Oh, a nice tactic. Okay.
Yeah. Knight b8, knight f8.
Yes.
I guess. Probably works.
It looks like it does.
Yeah. Black takes the dangerous pawn.
Oh, nice. You're the exchange up. For pawn, but should easily be winning with that knight's rook on the 7.
Except for now some pawns get traded. And now maybe king f5?
Okay, yeah, I think white could have won technically, but king f5, interesting.
I'm just trying to draw the game.
Wall would be good with the exchange down. That's because if king takes h5, king e4, yeah.
He plays passively with king f7.
Oh no!
Oh,
No! You can't do that. Can't do it. Just
I think black had real chances to draw here, but they're playing at lightning speed, these guys. I mean, king f5 looks right here. King f5, and if rook g7, knight takes e5 check, and maybe...
Oh, you'd have to play rook a7. Yeah, there were chances. You could have done something with black, but king f7 is passive.
Too passive. All right, we'll move on here. Clemons, Guy Argo. Black has got a great game. That rook on e1 is looking misplaced here. Queen c4 is possible here. Threat.
So white to move maybe pawn to b3 to guard it, but...
Or you can take on e5. I might be tempted to do that.
Yeah, white's better in any case. Knight takes e5.
Black should have maybe thought about playing pawn to e4 or something.
Yeah, you need to lose that e5 pawns. Not nice. That was odd. Yeah, I would have gone pawn to e4.
All right. Well, black now is bringing his king up.
Okay.
So
that's an interesting attacking move.
Yeah. Well, the idea is king g6, king h. He's gonna bring the king to g3 and mate him with the king.
Well, okay. I suppose he's defending e7, and when he played bishop f6 and rook g8. But it shouldn't work.
This is a fun game, though, Nick. If I'm white, I play knight b5, maybe threatening knight d6.
If you do that, at least c8 is not attacked. So
it's true.
But knight b5, yes, that knight either takes the bishop on c8 or gets back in play with knight b5.
What? Yeah, one move or the other. Gosh.
It should be good for white, but it's going to be messy.
All right, back up to board one, where this happened just like you said it would.
Which is funny. It's just a space advantage for white. It's a small but definite edge.
Oh, bishop g4, trying to play rook h3 and queen h6. Black could be in some serious trouble here.
Oh,
this is like the Petrosian, Larson Petrosian.
Bishop d4, h5, maybe you take the pawn on h5.
Or you can just take on e6 and play queen h6 or something. Yeah, this is looking... I think black's in serious trouble here.
Yes, it's looked quiet, but all of a sudden it's becoming critical for the black side.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. There's some problem with the DGT board on they agreed to a draw here. So my guess is Gaziz's game was a draw. So he must have played queen g6 check. Was it drawn? Yeah. I don't know. For some reason they put queen d1 on the board. But the game is over. So it must have been a draw by perpetual check. And these, I think Nathan Fong got So the game ended in a draw. All right.
Yeah, I mean, when people analyze it, they may find a great continuation for white there, but very, very complicated.
So Mike, what's the weather like over there in Alameda?
Mm-hmm.
It looks to me like black is losing this.
Yeah, white just has to maintain that e-pawn.
And Clemons, Guy Argo. Oh, he played b3, allowing rook f8, and now I'd say black's better again. Although it's, yeah, more dynamic possibilities for black. Okay. Elliot's still in the think tank here.
I don't know because I reset it. I'll bring this question.
So it's yeah, you're right. You're right. Taking the e-pawn was probably, yeah. You're talking about this game. If white had taken the e-pawn instead of playing b3, that might have still been better for black. Mm-hmm.
Bishop takes d8 or d5,
All right. Elliot is still waiting for a move, waiting to play a move. This game is a draw, and this game, I don't know what David Askin was thinking about here, but he's lost. I pieced down.
Mr. Whitehead, do you want any of the draw people, like board number 2? They had a quick draw. Do you want anyone?
I don't think
Okay.
I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Black is lost here.
Yes, that knight cannot find a great square. Well, is there any hope? Pawn to g6, and rook checks, pawn to h6. Still a couple desperate hopes for black in that endgame.
That's what you need. You need a Lasker defending that, or DeFermian.
Let's take Lasker. He could find those amazing defenses.
Black's got a nice build-up, a setup here.
Yes, but bishop on c3 is a nice piece, knight on d3. So white is okay.
What about this game? Who's okay in this game?
Yeah, nobody is okay in this game. I like this king f7, an aggressive attacking move.
If you don't know what to do, just befuddle your opponent.
Yeah, but it guards the knight on e7, vacates the g file for the rook.
And look, white plays knight c6. He's tempted into a unsound sacrifice. Or is it unsound?
I mean, your knight b5 might have been quite good. Tie him down some more. Knight c6.
Double-edged. This is the kind of games that Mercado he loves this stuff.
Yes. He's just happy in those wild complications. but we love to see Adam's game.
Yeah, I mean, we like knight takes c8 or knight b5 better. This is speculative. I think this is speculative.
You win the b pawn instead of that deadly bishop on c8. Not a good idea.
All right, back
Pawn
up to
takes c6.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, then pawn takes c6, and then black can play bishop e6 or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe even bishop a6. It's
Covering the diagonal. Yeah. Okay. Elliot found bishop g4, and Ed Lewis played king g7. So what happens after rook h3? Or even queen b2 check first? I think black is in some serious trouble here, Nick.
Yeah, all of White's pieces are nice. The pawns are nice. That rook on a3 can swing around.
I mean, what rook h3? What's black gonna do?
Can you go pawn to h5?
I guess. And then what would Larry Christensen do in that position? I mean, you can just take on h5 and bring the other rook up. How is black going to survive that?
Aha. Well, that's interesting. Very interesting. You want to go rook h3, pawn h5, bishop takes h5, b takes h5, rook on e1 to e3.
Well, first I'll take on h5, maybe, threatening queen h6 check. God.
Well, then rook h8 could cause you trouble.
I see. No. Elliot, I mean, that rook on e1 can join in the attack.
Well, I love your play, as you said, a Larry Christensen type move to sack a piece and bring somebody else in. That may do it.
Not only that, but on h5, white can just play queen b2 check.
In pawn f6?
And bishop takes e6.
Oh.
There must be several ways to win this now.
Queen b6, queen b or c3, I'm not sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess he could play king h6 or something.
It's tough.
Elliot's got an hour and 11 minutes to work out a forced continuation here.
It's too long. He'll get himself confused with so much.
That's right. Rook h3. Mike's suggesting rook h3, h5, bishop e6, and knight f4. Hitting
very positional.
Hitting e6 and probably threatening to sack on h5. Maybe you could play rook f6 then. I don't know. Black's position just looks like a house of cards.
Yes.
All right. While we're waiting for the brilliant finish, let's go down to board 3, where white is trying his darndest. He plays queen e2. All right. See, if black's queen was on f3, he wouldn't have to worry about anything.
Oh, you're right. Queen f3 was a great defensive move.
Now maybe white could think about stuff like rook h5 and queen h5 and g6, although knight f6 is still available. I mean, either rook h5 works or it doesn't. White's not going to find anything else here.
Yeah, maybe it's time to go for the attack. Just direct. Because you're going to get in G6 the move after. And that black king is still in the danger zone.
I don't believe in this attack, but
It's speculative, but not necessarily unsound.
right. You're a rook down, but maybe you've got some chances. So
Yeah, it's probably wrong, but
So
in a way, it's your best practical chance.
So it looks like there might be some kind of long-term threat, like rook h1, f3, queen g6, rook h7. I don't know, Nick.
Yeah, there's the bishop, the rook, on the queen, maybe the knight. There are a real, 5 attacking pieces over
It's
there.
true.
On G6 is quite a threat.
Well, knight f6 then, right?
Again, queen H4, and then the bishop's.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Bishop
Okay,
queen.
so white's flag, yeah.
Stafford. Stafford.
Yeah, it's
It was. This was the last one.
All right, I'm gonna go down to Stafford and Estolas, and this is clearly lost.
Lost already.
Brendan lost.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a win for white, and we're back up to Guy Argo and Christian Clemons, and
could you take a look at that game? It's the end game. It's it's hopeless. I mean, I'm always rooting for the underdog, but yeah, there's no way out. And the final position, I thought I saw maybe some cheapos. Not. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Nothing.
white played c5 here.
That gives away the d5. Don't like that move.
Black's
Yeah,
in the think tank here. Pawn e4.
Well, he could, pawn e4. If pawn takes e4, queen takes e4, check. Knight f4.
Knight f4, you can just take it. Oh, I can. You can take it and play knight c5, but then white plays queen c7.
Yeah.
Not that that's any great shakes, but at least that bishop's getting opened up.
Yeah, c5 just not right. So black's starting to take over the initiative there.
Maybe just b takes c5, but then bishop a5.
Oh, so we need a specific move here. E4.
Knight f4.
Knight f4 is not. Yeah, that's.
And then if knight f4, queen f4, knight takes c5, queen c7, rook d7 or something like that.
Could be, yes. You still have all the active pieces for black.
All right. That's a simple variation. Let's see
It's funny.
this crazy game after king f7, knight c6, takes, queen takes, Nick, hitting the rook on a8 and the pawn on d6.
Yeah, okay, so
Bishop a6.
bishop a6, and now maybe you have to go pawn takes h3 because of the threat. Oh.
Oh, why didn't black play bishop takes d3? Oh, because of rook e7 and rook c7? So he has to play there, and white looks like he's winning now.
Oh my, now queen has e7 check is...
Queen e6 or knight c5.
Oh, just did not, yeah, queen e6 check, king to g7, pawn to d6, no, you're hanging, sort of.
Knight c5 looks crushing.
Knight c5. If we go rook to g8.
Oh, Nick's asking one of those uncomfortable questions again.
I mean, rook g8 is a serious threat.
What if rook c2, bishop f1 or something?
That would be funny. But there's always queen e6 check also, and there's counterattack.
I'll bet you white's got a knockout blow here with like rook e7 and knight e5 check or something.
Yes, ought to be. Black is missed. I mean,
all right, he's going straight for the queen e6. Black is, I don't know.
We'll go king g7.
Yeah.
He blocked his own attack.
No, white got away with this knight c6 move. It looked to actually like it was pretty good.
Yeah, not sure. And this is still very complicated. Pawn to d6, king to h8.
Pawn takes
Pawn
e7.
takes e7, rook g8. It's wild.
The queen can go back to h3 to defend.
Yeah, that should probably be pawn d6, king h8, pawn takes e7, rook g8, queen h3.
Bishop takes g3.
Material is even.
Except for white's got some pawns.
White's actually 2 pawns ahead, yes. And the one on e7 is a monster. Probably white is winning with correct play, yes.
Okay, let's roll on to...
But this is a real Adam Mercado game.
Black's tried to hang on with rook h8, Nick. And Elliot goes for an endgame. He couldn't figure out how to mate him.
This is very professional. I wanted to see a checkmate.
Professional. Yeah.
Yeah, you take a clean pawn.
And can he go bishop d7? Knight f8.
Well, then.
Yeah. Knight f8, bishop h3.
Knight g6.
Oh, yeah.
Well, bishop, knight g6, pawn g6, pawn a3, rook h3.
What's going on there?
Yeah, that bishop d7 makes it complicated because you're lost if you just go like rook f6, knight d4, pawn down, just not a nice position. But bishop d7. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
I think
just
this
not
is,
that clear.
yeah, Elliot, what should he have done after rook h8?
I'm sure he had several options.
I would try to attack here.
Yeah,
Unless you got seduced by this idea of winning cleanly. I mean,
yeah,
even
there's
pawn e5 here or something.
It's well, he anything else. As you say, queen c recheck. I pin that rook back. The king has to go to g8.
And then takes a knight f4.
Yeah, it's avoid the queen trade, and
Or
it's
just
gonna
trade first and play knight f4 maybe. And then you've got the idea of knight h5 check too. I like the idea of bringing the rook at e1 into the attack with e5 or something as well.
Yes, white can certainly win this game by direct attack, and Elliot got a bit lazy here. He just had everything going his way and kind of jumped in.
I've got a simple move here. What about queen h4? Oh, he's got king f8.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess he can take on d5. Let's see. Mr. Lewis is thinking.
Bishop d7.
The knight has no retreat. It has to desperado itself on g6.
It has to take the rook on f8, and bishop takes a3. The knight is trapped, so what do you do?
Can you play e5? And then the bishop goes all the way back to c8.
Yeah.
E takes d6. King f8. Rook takes e7.
Maybe. Anyway, it's at least complicated. It looked like it was going to be just a clean technical wipeout, but good defense.
All right, so
And that game was a draw.
so black decided to play rook e8 and organize a defense based on knight f8.
Problem is that that can be a passive defense. On g6, I rather like that.
So what's white's plan here? Is to bring the knight around or something? How about knight takes g6?
Yeah, black must be better. That's
No, knight takes g6 looks good.
uh,
I think black must be winning this, but knight takes g6, queen h7, king f7, rook g1. Brooklyn Cyclone. If black plays knight g6, queen h7, king f7, rook g1.
that's, yes, very nice spot, very nice. So, attacking chances for white.
But
It shouldn't work, but it's not easy for the blacks.
Queen g2 is a nice move, though.
Yeah, way back into the heart of white's position.
Yeah.
Queen g2.
Good move. All right. Instead, e5. What do we know?
Queen g2 was the move. Yeah. Oh, ouch. Bad.
This lets the white knight into d5, maybe.
Yeah, that is a bad move. Say bishop h6, try to get rid of a defender. Next move, knight d5. Wow. So bishop h6, maybe you have to go on to c6 so the queen can.
Defend laterally.
Yeah.
All right, we'll play knight d5 right away then.
Okay, knight d5, pawn takes f4, and
Oh,
what's the follow-up?
well, then something.
Yeah, which you might have. And there's knight d5, pawn takes f4, queen takes f5, pawn c6. Probably not enough.
All right, well, this is very exciting. So we'll have to come back to it.
Yes. We don't see how white can do something, but we're hoping.
All right, black did play e4 and white did play knight f4. So the line we were looking at was knight f4, queen f4, knight c5, queen c7, rook d7. Black is good there, but it's still a game. Queen goes
Yes.
back to f4. Sharp. All right, let's roll on to the game of the hour. What happened here? He played queen e6, king g7, and white played d6. Black took on d3, white took on e7, and black played rook e8. Both players' attacks have stymied. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, it's
like-
hard to break through.
Yeah, they both. But what about something? Yeah, like queen g4. I think the attacks have stalled, but that means that white just has this material advantage.
Should be, but something like queen d4, black goes queen g4, pawn g4, knight g5, and it's whose pawns count. So, yeah, you ought to be a win some way for white, but quite a lot of technical difficulties.
Queen d5. Ooh, queen d5 is a nasty move. Threatening queen takes a8.
Oh yeah. That's the way you do it.
And the bishop at d3.
That is a great move.
Yeah.
And queen e8, rook a8, pawn to e8, discovered check. So
That's all she wrote.
black is on the ropes there.
There goes the bishop at d3. It's crushing.
And there's just not enough attack for black. It's just
All right, let's move on.
Oh wait, can I
Yeah.
continue? It's terrible. Queen to d5, threatening all these horrible things. And I want to go. What do I want to go? Oh, I don't have time. I wanted to go king h6 to rook b8 and just give up stuff. I wanted to go rook g8 immediately, hoping, but yeah, it doesn't quite work. Sorry.
All right, we agree that Adam Mercado is busted after queen d5. So let's go back up to Winslow's game, and Winslow's opponent doesn't find rook, bishop d7, plays rook c8 instead, and now has to suffer a pawn down against Elliott here.
Is there a moral to this story?
Is there a moral to any chess story at all?
It's all immoral.
I hope so.
I keep trying to, put some kind of twist on chess all the time, but
chess is twisted.
chess itself is twisted. Says Abel.
Oh yeah, I know for a fact it's twisted.
Right.
But so do you too.
Yeah, there's some twisted stuff going on around here at the club.
Some monkey business.
You gotta like white here.
Yeah, this is just suffering for black. Suffering.
Black missed a nice chance here.
Yeah.
Instead, in this position, if he had had the courage to play bishop d7, or else just if maybe he couldn't quite work it out. But it looks strong.
He had to cause Wiley Winslow trouble, and now it's just all in white's control. Extra pawn, pieces on good squares. For an international master, he's gonna.
I'm gonna go get some water, and I'll be right back. Maybe Abel will jump in here.
Oh, just okay, or I will comment on. Let's see. This is Guy Argo's game. Oh, that one rook down, and a great situation where you have to attack his white.
Did you say Argo is a rook down against Christian Clemons? Or was it that other game?
Oh no, sorry, that's.
That was the Caven Reese, David Askin.
Yeah, sorry, that was Caven Reese, David Askin.
Yes, so David went all in, huh, on this attack?
Yeah, she got everything over on that king side, but a whole rook down, the queen on b7 is guarding. But that was a nice attacking move, knight to e2. If you can get that knight to f5, that can be worth a rook.
In time, getting it in time, right? But it doesn't look like black is going to be able to strike at something immediately, right?
No, black. You think black must be winning a whole rook up, but quite a move, 92. Suddenly, this knight G3, knight F5 is this ferocious attack. And what are you going to do? I thought Black could almost resign, but 92 just hits the key points. On 64, no, maybe knight G3 anyway.
And Kevin Reese must be thinking the same thing because he is deep in thought here. And what happened on the, I missed it, but what happened on the board 2? I know it was a draw with Nathan Fong and Gaziz. Was that just a repetition?
It looked like that was a repetition.
Yeah.
We didn't see the final move, but it looked like it was going to be a perpetual check.
Yeah. And Mike Walder, can you play Bishop X H6, Queen X H6, Queen G7?
Yeah, you can certainly do that, but then Queen just has to step back. You have to keep the queens on Queen H5, and the plan is the same: Knight G3, Knight takes H5.
Right.
Knight landing on F5 is something very harsh. It's a whole rook, but that's an attack for the next few moves. Let's try it again. Bishop H6, Queen H6, Queen G7, Queen H5, Rook E6. Again, Knight G3. Get away with something like Queen H6. You have to play bravely on the white side.
But wouldn't you say that even the options are somewhat? I mean, it's all going to be the knight, right?
Yeah, white needs that knight to get into play.
What a game! And Kevin Reese plays some sharp chess.
Okay.
And I think he goes over his games with Craig Marr and some others. So
Senior Master Mar, okay, very good coach.
And what about the Christian Clemons, Guy Argo? Is that slowly building up?
Okay, there's pawn sacrifice that white bishop on c3 is this wonderful positional piece, so perhaps you don't worry about a pawn so much. And black has played very well and principally. Queen takes c7, you go rook to d7. But yes, I mean, white got pieces on good squares, and chances are even.
So it looks like the board 3 is the game to follow. We're gonna have Ollie Frazier, Hagler Hearns. All right, I'm gonna rob
peanuts.
I gotta rob the peanuts, and I'm gonna let the FIDE master.
That's okay. Here I come. I'm back. Don't forget your coffee.
It's fun to.
You can heat it up in the microwave in the
It's
other
fun to
room.
have our old spotlight.
Yeah. No, this is great. And by the way, I didn't mention this before, but you can actually see the action above us for the first time in 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Just about. We've got you can actually see the tournament hall.
The live cam.
The live cam. Yeah. The webcam into the chess room.
That is it.
It's,
That is it.
showing half the chess room. The world famous Mechanics Institute chess room. It's going on right now.
Chess is alive and well.
Chess is alive and kicking.
Tuesday Night Marathon was not around for the last pandemic. We were halfway back there.
Oh, you're talking about back in 1918?
1918, yeah, we date to about halfway back to the 1918 pandemic. But we had some events in the meantime. So this one is not enough to interfere with the long tradition of Tuesday nights.
I like that idea, Bishop H6 and Queen G7.
Yes, Bishop takes H6, Queen H6, Queen G7. Probably Queen H5, maybe it doesn't matter. Queen H3. And yeah, knight takes D6, knight to D3.
He plays rook E6. That doesn't look too bad either.
Yeah, looks pretty good. No, maybe the attack is running out of steam.
I'm having some peanuts.
Yeah, with accurate defense, it'll work for the black side, but then we'd be cheap and sleazy with white.
This game is still ticking on. And what happened here is white did not find Queen D5 and played Rook C8 instead, Nick.
Okay. And what's the body count?
I guess Rook
Like
E7,
2 pawns.
Queen G8 check is no good. So, boom, boom, boom.
You have to take on E7.
Whoa. Bishop F1 doesn't work.
There's a bishop on B6.
Oh yeah, yes.
So one piece ahead for black, but that A pawn's a monster.
Oh, look at that. Queen B6 threatening Queen G1 mate. He defends and attacks. Oh, that's a good move.
Yes, but okay. Now you're pinned. I don't know if that helped your attack.
Queen H4.
What's that move?
Queen H4. Says Mike.
Queen H4, and can you just calmly go pawn to A7, Queen E1 check, King H2. No, Queen H4 is a draw. H3 doesn't, and that happens. All right. So, can you go bishop F2, Queen F2, Queen E7, King moves, pawn to H7. Also looks like a draw. Wow, what a game! Typical Adam Mercado game. I am right, Adams, on the black side. Yeah.
All right, here's an idea. Queen takes e5 check. I guess bishop f6, huh?
Yeah, I'd do bishop f6.
And then queen a5.
Wow. Living dangerously.
I guess bishop a6, queen a6, queen e1, queen f1. Probably a draw also, because black can take the bishop on b, the pawn on b2.
Probably, although white's better at least in on-up endgame. E5 check. Bishop f6, queen to a5. Knowing Adam, he'd play something different. Yeah, but that queen a5 guards a lot. Bishop guards one dark square diagonal, the queen guards the other.
Black will have to return the piece.
Probably black would have to take on a6, yes. Can't see another way to crash through. Queen a6, queen to e1 check. Can we be cold-blooded and go bishop f1? Then bishop takes b2, but no real attack for white. No, probably the endgame is better. But as you say, good drawing chances. Bishop takes queen.
Oh, I'll go back.
One more.
So white doesn't want to lose the a pawn for nothing, right? All right, let's run up to board one, where Elliot Winslow is playing Ed Lewis. What is this? Knight takes e7, rook c4, rook c4, bishop c4, e takes d6. This looks like desperation. Yeah, or knight b6 followed by taking on d6. And black is on the ropes here. Right, we had knight g3 played. Black defended the pawn there. Doesn't strike me as being strictly, and then sacked the exchange.
Oh, that doesn't look good. I mean, maybe black's all right, but you just gave up 3 points, a rook and pawn for a knight. Yeah, not great.
Well, white's drawing chances probably increase quite a bit here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, why not take on G6 instead of rook at 6?
Yeah, that was so here, take on G6.
Well, sometimes you think you're afraid you're winning too easily.
What happens after knight f5 though? I mean, it might end up the same thing, with black having to give up the exchange. He is a rook ahead.
Yeah. But it's nice to get rid of that G6 pawn. That's sort of a thorn in the side.
Well, we're still here. Still looks like black has the better game, but white's creeping up in material. He's got 2 pawns for a piece now.
Yes. Still prefer to have black, but real chances now for white.
D5. I'm not understanding that either. Exactly.
He just grabs it. So now bishop takes 7.
Wait a minute. Hold on here. After queen f5. Yeah. What happened here?
D5 was just bad. Now they've traded into an endgame.
Yeah.
He's winning for.
That was D5 was a complete error here.
Yes, that's a mistake.
He should have gotten a little more creative with the attack here.
Yeah.
I think that black is better, of course, but
yeah, but D5 is just terrible. That's
all right, let's go on to Guy Argo versus Christian Clemons. Queen g5 looks like a waste of time. I mean, black can just play h6.
Yeah, no real point to that. No, hoping for some rook d1 or d5 and queen g7 maybe. h6 is a useful move. Yeah, why not pick queen?
Maybe queen h5, trying to pressure f5 in some way. I'm not sure what's going on here. Although it might be difficult for black to find moves too.
You definitely like h6. Pick that queen off the good square, make some look. Could be an automatic move. Ooh.
It wasn't.
Looking for an end game, but I'll take that end game.
Maybe take on g6 and play rook c1.
Yeah, sure. I like that. You could retreat with queen 2. F4, but then maybe knight E6, and queen E5 would get the queen trap because of rook to D5.
I don't like that idea of white playing F4, Michael. But that's what black wants, I think, is a locked position. I like the idea of trying to destabilize the knight at C5. Frankly, I don't know who stands better in this position.
It's a classic game.
All right. In that
Mechanics
case,
Institute classic. Christian Clemons, Guy Argo.
in that case, we'll move on. After A6, Queen H6, this incredible battle here. What happened here?
You're going backwards?
Yeah, okay. He just played A7.
Queen H4, A7. So now you have to check, because what else can you do? King H2, Queen G. Queen
And it's
check.
a draw.
Yes, that's the draw.
A forced draw.
Yeah, looks like a fitting end to this game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, is there any way black can play to win? Oh no, it's gonna be a whole queen.
He can play for the loss.
Yeah,
Which is every chess player's prerogative.
You have the right to do that. If any chess player has the right to do anything, it's to play for the loss.
yeah. No, this he has to take the draw now. Okay, it's been wonderful action, but you just committing suicide if you don't.
Elliot's returned the pawn. How did Elliot return the pawn? Oh no, he's still pawn ahead. This is grim for black.
Well, no weaknesses for white. Now the C4 pawn's guarded. That bishop can go to F5. Yeah, it's.
I mean, black is almost in Sitzwang here.
Well, if bishop to F5, guess you can trade all the rooks.
I would have played F3, but
as you say, black can't move. The
nice.
can't move.
I mean, he can play bishop F5, but just goes into a lost ending, right?
That's your best shot. The rook E7, knight D5, rook E8, knight to C7 wins material. What else can black do except bishop F5? So you trade and go king to F2.
Then the king comes to D4.
Yes, I'm sure it's a winning ending, but he may have even been able to do better than maybe pawn to G4, looking for a Zugzwang. But that's a bit fancy.
Yeah, I would have tried F3 instead of F4. It seems like 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yes, white should win technically or in a fancy way, but white should win. Five. Oh, what a sad move. Bad move, because now you are just...
This is just hopeless.
Ah.
Or at least it's very bad. Nothing is hopeless.
It had gotten really interesting, and then pawn to d5 and the queen trade was just not right. Sometimes you just get a bad idea.
I think white is no worse here somehow. This knight is not quite as...
No matter what.
What?
I want to play pawn to h6 with black, no matter what. Get a nice hiding spot for that king on h7.
Yeah, queen g6 was not the right move, I think, but... this knight is not as stable on c5 as it, black needs a nice square for this knight. And he doesn't really have one yet. ef3 check. And then if takes with the pawn, rook d3 or knight g3.
Yeah. Still a lot of choices. 5 is a choice. I like that pawn on e4.
Okay, I'm going to move on here just for a second. We have what should be a draw here with queen h4 check and queen e1 check, I think. But sometimes at the club we see fighting spirit that verges on some foolhardy stuff. So, and back here we had the idea of taking and playing f4. Queen f4, knight g3, queen c4 check. It's pretty complicated, too complicated for me. A rook g3, queen e5. I see f4, queen c2 check. Ah, brutal.
Pawn takes f3, pawn takes f3, f4. Would win the game. So pawn takes f3, you have to take with rooks. And
can white play take back? Can white play queen e5 after f4? I guess.
Ooh, but then knight g3.
Then queen e6 check.
You get away with that. You have to trade queens, and well, we have to trade queens. Move the king hoping, so pawn takes f3, pawn takes f3, pawn f4, queen e5, knight d3, queen e6, check, king to h8. So if you trade queens, we throw in knight e1 check.
Oh, yeah.
But you move the rook to 4, and do we have any plan? Probably not.
Black played rook e8, and white played queen c1.
Yeah, and that ought to be...
Rook e8 was a good move too, I think.
I still want my pawn on h6 for black. Just, if you can get your king a little safer, cover a few more squares.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
All right, my head's spinning. Let's go to the Adam Mercado game.
which, again, anybody else would just say, oh, it's a draw, it's a draw. But Adam, you know, he's thinking, he just wants to fight so hard.
Yeah, draw. I mean, there are players who will do anything to avoid a draw.
I think he's going to just look, and decide, oh, this is just completely hopeless to try anything.
All right, black is not going gentle into that good night.
Nice move, pawn to h4.
Okay, so knight d5, that's a great idea.
Knight d5, so if it's taken, you just trade everything and then win the king and pawn ending. Presumably. So knight d5, what move can black play? Because knight c7 is a threat. That's very nice, Mike. Yeah, that's
It's simple and nice.
yes. Knight d5, bishop f5 again. Trade everything. But at least it's not a king and pawn ending. Oh, but that's bad. Then rook e7 check picks up a second pawn.
Oh, yeah. Ugh. Let's go to Askin and Kevin Reese. This is looking worse and worse and worse.
Now, this is a lost ending. It's lost. But what are the cheaper chances? Can that white rook come down, snag a pawn or two?
Yeah. Yeah, the black king should be sitting on c5 or something like that. Still, I like black here.
Oh yeah, yeah. But okay, that rook can't penetrate. You go pawn to f3. Some cheapo chances there.
Cheapo chances.
Now there moves like rook to b5 for black, and suddenly pawn to b4. Your rook is.
Yeah, you could get your rook trapped, and if a5, rook b3.
Oh yes, this is something that's. Yeah, there are ways to screw it up for black, but he didn't.
All right, let's move on. Guy Argo changes the whole shape of the game by playing pawn to e3.
What a move. Not sure I like that. Very committal. That pawn can get loose.
Well, if I'm white, I want to play rook d1 right away, unless there's something tactical.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Unless there's something tactically wrong with it. Bishop a5 just allows knight b3, right?
Yeah, bishop a5, there's counter tactics. d1 is in order. That's absolutely in order. I don't like pawn to e3 because of rook to d1. And defend the file with rook d8 because white trades and takes the pawn on e3.
I guess black will play f4 at some point.
Rook d1, pawn to f4, good. White can trade rooks on d7, knight d7. We back to d1, knight back to c5. Okay.
It's still unclear.
Yeah, that e3 though is starting to make it going white way.
That's what
Yeah,
happened.
I played a fine game until that. But.
Black has to play f4, I think.
Yeah, probably f4 is first.
It's starting to get a little loose, though.
Trade the rooks, d1. Knight back to c5, maybe bishop to d4, and yeah, it's looking just nice for white.
All right. Let's move on here. And we have a draw with Adam Mercado. Actually took a draw. Unbelievable.
How many times did he repeat the
Mr.
position?
Action, Mr. Action Chess.
Do you want him in there?
If he wants to come in.
Okay, let me ask him. He would be
Yeah.
good.
Oh, good, we get a first hand account.
Yeah. If he wants to come in, he can provide some entertainment for us. Okay, so actually we have a question here. Bishop a5. knight b3, a b3, ba5. Okay, well, is that in this position?
I guess with the rook on e1.
Yeah, bishop a5, knight b3, a b3, ba5, and then rook d1.
Yeah, that's good for white, but the rook d1 is also good for white. I think black's gonna lose a pawn.
All right, let's take a look at Elliot played knight d5.
Oh, he did play knight d5. So
That's the end, I think. Bishop f5, rook e7 check is crushing.
yes.
Elliot's a beast sometimes, isn't he?
So Adam and his opponents are coming.
Oh, okay, we should probably just have one at a time, I'm thinking.
One?
Because otherwise, I don't know. What do you think? There's not really enough
It's
room.
fitting in the space.
Okay, so it's one.
There's not really enough room.
Yeah.
Right?
Should bring one. No, I agree. There's not enough space there.
But I don't know. Maybe we could sit back here and. I mean, it was a draw. It wasn't like Adam.
We'll just see them behind each other, right?
Yeah, yeah. Maybe they can both come in.
Well, Adam. Oh, no, but they're separate games.
It was a draw, right?
But, I mean, Adam won. And
No, it was a draw with Ronald Allen.
Or maybe Adam too?
No. Oh, Adam Mercado. Yeah, we can bring one.
Okay, then both of you are coming. I'm sending you mixed messages.
Well, we're sending them. So you can sit here.
All right.
And I explained them where the very first guest after.
Yeah. No, we got
All right, you got to tell us your names
acting
for the cameras.
What's on, guys?
Is this on Twitch?
Yeah. What's going on here? My name's Adam Mercado.
Adam Mercado.
I go by A-Boy415 on the internet. Look me up.
All right.
I'm Ronnie Allen or Ronald Allen. I'm mod by Gotham Chess, and I'm sort of new to Over the Board, but still getting into
Well,
it.
you guys played a heck of a game.
Yeah, it really was one stressful game.
Yeah. So shall we? And we've got Grandmaster Nick DeFermian over there.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, that was a lot of fun to watch.
So why don't you guys lead us through it? Tell us what we missed.
Yeah, so King's Indian, I'm pretty sure I messed up first by playing knight f6 so early, apparently.
I wouldn't necessarily call it a blunder. I mean, all of this is like just the main line. Bishop f2, g5 is nice. a4. I think a4 can be stopped by a5 and b6. So if a4, then I have to play knight e3 and prepare b4, and it just kind of stops White's play, in my opinion. So after a4, I think White should continue with a5.
Black should.
Or sorry, not black. Yeah, my apologies. Black should continue with a5. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like a5 too.
Yeah, my thinking was, because I know in the King's Indian, a lot of times you ignore the queen side and go on the king side
Right.
attack. So that was my thinking. I was like, whatever, he can push the pawn, I'm just going to go after the king.
Right,
But
right.
that's probably not the
But
best
there are
idea.
some times when you take a breather.
Yeah.
And stop.
Yeah, I
the
started to
other.
realize that pretty fast as the game went on.
So White, yeah, here we go. You could stop again with a6 maybe or
Yeah.
something here.
A5 is kind of the reason why I put A5 was because once you take on like CD, eventually the B6 score comes pretty weak after
Yeah.
knight B5, knight
Sure.
A7. And,
This whole time, my mindset is still, I don't care what he does on the queen side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still giving up that pawn.
Yeah.
but even if A6 instead of G4, bishop B6 gets followed up in knight C7.
Yeah. That's true. We thought you missed a clear win though, coming up. somewhere around. So, I mean, what do you think, Nick? We thought kind of that black really never got enough, and that you were doing really good here.
Is Queen C2 right in that position?
Black should maybe think about. I mean, I don't know where's your attack coming in here.
Yeah.
Just,
I already don't like my position. I realized I misplayed it.
Yeah, I think you'll have to go back to the drawing board here.
Because before I played G takes H2, I was thinking about moving my light square bishop to keep it on the board, but then I thought I'm not going to have an opportunity to sacrifice it, so I might as well let him have it and just try to open up his king side.
I mean, is there a position where I just take on C8 and take on H2 and then just...
Because you can take on C8. In fact, we were thinking you should have taken on C8. Or Nick kept wondering, but like this bishop on C8 can cause you trouble later on in the game. But, I mean, it's hard to see where black is going to land a shot here.
Queen C2, I think, was a miscalculation on my part. I could be wrong.
I thought it was good. I thought you were just going to take the bishop, to be honest. And I didn't see anything that I could have done.
But Adam, your knight moves were kind of backwards. Knight H7, knight E7.
Uh-huh.
They're like a pawn H4, knight H5 instead, or some kind of forward moves that,
Well, knight E7, okay.
Yeah, I mean definitely that gives a
well,
wrong
because
impression.
Because I didn't know what to do with my light square bishop, I thought I could probably just moved it onto like D7 probably. But I wanted to open up the G file because I felt like I had to do something,
Yeah, well, I love it when you get in a bad position because you fight and you throw things at him.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, that's a nervy move.
I did not understand that. Are you playing Rook G8 there?
But we
also since
we thought knight B5 was strong here.
Okay.
Because I thought you could have just took the knight with the rook, and then my bishop was hanging anyway. So I thought I had to add a defender onto the knight.
I mean, knight B5 going into D6 looked good.
I probably should have spent more time. Knight, yeah.
Also, we thought knight takes C8 and eliminating that bishop would have probably been good as well.
Yeah, I understood the ideas behind knight C3, but I told him
But
earlier.
this turned out to be really good too because
I thought he had to play Rook B8 there, and that was my miscalculation. I told
you
him
missed a
bishop.
winning move. We're pretty sure. And that was right here, Queen D5. Threatens queen takes rook on A8.
Oh my goodness.
And if rook takes, make a queen with check. And it threatens the bishop on D3.
Like Queen D5, Bishop A6.
Queen takes A8.
Rook A8, Rook C8, Rook C8.
No. Rook takes A8, E8, queen.
I see.
Right? Queen D5, Bishop
yes,
A6,
like the
Queen
pawn.
A8, Rook
Oh.
A8, Pawn E8 equals Queen.
Oh.
Check, discovered check. The
Can,
rook
can you
is.
do those moves a little slowly on the board? then?
I can't make them on the board.
Oh, okay.
That's nasty.
So Queen D5 was a real shot there.
Queen D5, Bishop A6,
Queen takes A8.
Queen takes A8, and yeah, we can't get a rook to G8 in time.
Rook takes A8, then pawn to E8 equals queen, discovered check, and that's it for black.
And is Bishop E7 something to calculate? Probably not.
After Queen D5,
Yeah.
you can just take the bishop
Yeah.
on D3.
Okay. How's that? That blew right over my
Well,
head.
I guess I mean it is two pieces each, but you've consolidated.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only like clear thing that we saw, right, Nick?
Yes, this was the one clear, it looked like a tactical win.
Because after rook c8,
Queen h6 was really tricky.
Yeah.
It took me about a minute to even see the tactical side of it.
oh, we found one other idea for white here.
At this position.
After this, which was queen takes e5 check, bishop f6, and then queen a5, which guards against queen e1 check and guards the pawn at a6. Just throwing that out there.
So queen f2. Oh, queen f2 is not possible there, of course. Oh, okay, yeah.
So then, if you play bishop takes a6, queen take because otherwise white's gonna queen a pawn. So bishop takes a6, queen takes a6, queen e1 check, and then white can put the queen back on f1. Black trades and plays bishop takes b2, but white's got the better endgame.
Mm.
Two pawns versus one. Anyway, what do you think of that line, Nick?
Yeah, no, we had discussed that. White's a little better in that endgame, but it's even material, so.
Oh, it is even material. No, isn't white's taking the pawn at e5 and the pawn at h2?
Oh, he's taken the pawn at h2.
Yeah. So and black has taken the pawn at a6 and b2. So white's still a pawn ahead. But it's really reduced material.
Yeah, I know. That's a good find though. I mean, even after queen c7.
And we're just messing around, we don't know,
Yeah.
But this is just a draw. Boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom.
I spent a bit of time here just trying to figure out if can I let him queen and do some kind of crazy attack. I was like, I'm not touching any of
that. That was a great game.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was a really tough game.
After knight c6, I'm happy with the draw. After knight c6 and bishop a6, I was like, you know what? Maybe I screwed this up. And,
Actually, you missed that shot, queen d5.
Yeah. Is white still better after knight c6?
It looks like
Probably,
it. It
yeah.
looked like it. Yeah, that was actually good, right? I mean, this turned out really good for you. And did black have anything here?
Yeah, well, one can slow down a bit. So complicated. That's you also have to take it.
You're saying that black didn't necessarily have to take?
How about bishop b7? I know.
You mean bishop f6?
Sorry, bishop f6.
I guess that's possible. Yeah, I was looking. I'm one of those simple players that just wants to play simple, so I was looking at knight b5.
Yeah, knight b5 is. Yeah.
Or taking this. Nick and I both had the same idea that the knight's not doing anything at a7. You did too. You played knight c6. You want to do something with that knight, right? All three moves looked really good, but your move might have been the best.
Maybe. Knight c6, so essentially it seemed the most forcing. I saw knight b5, and I saw, and then like I didn't even calculate knight takes a8, because I was just like, trade, queen d2. It's just, I don't know, knight c6 seemed the most forcing. That's all I calculated. And,
Right.
Yeah,
So bishop f6 is possible, I guess. I don't know, but set the computer loose on it.
Yeah.
See what the computer has to say.
The computer's probably like, woo,
Yeah,
like
computer's like,
changing its mind every second.
So takes, queen takes, on the rook.
Bishop a6, that's a nice find.
That looks like it's like almost the only move.
Yeah,
But I could be wrong. I mean, we could be wrong. And now, what were we looking at here, Nick? Queen D6. I guess that makes total sense. Yeah.
Oh. Queen D6, Bishop D3, Rook E7, check Queen E7, Rook C7 is the
Yeah. If Bishop D3, Rook takes E7 and Rook C7. I think we were looking at.
We slow down again. Bishop D3, Rook E7. Can you go King G8? Probably not.
I mean, yeah, that D pawn's gonna be a passer. But G2.
And White's got Queen E6 and Queen H3 if he needs to.
Black has a nice play there, I think.
Probably works
All right,
for White.
so now I think this White should be winning here, but it's, you still have to prove it, right? We were looking at Knight C5. But your move did the trick. Oh, was there another move there for Black? I mean, you could play Bishop E7.
Bishop E7, Rook E7, Queen E7, Rook C7.
And then, yeah. It doesn't look too good. Okay. And there was Queen D5. I think that was the shot.
Yeah. I played too quickly too.
That's not an easy move to see.
Yeah, Queen D5 was good.
Yeah, the technical problems are solved. So hopefully we'll get our readership, we had 3 weeks of technical issues. So hopefully we'll get our viewers back.
Paul, do you need a break?
Maybe I'll take a 5-minute break. Yeah.
Because I can tell a little bit about our upcoming events and everything.
That'd be good.
We did that.
All right, you guys. Thanks.
Thank you guys for
Thank you
coming.
guys. Yep.
All right.
Hey, you guys are first.
Yeah, you're our first guests in like.
All right, Twitch.
Yeah, bye Twitch.
And maybe send an Abel if
Okay.
he's sitting right there.
Yeah. I will.
Okay, sounds good. So,
I
so-
do it.
hi Paul. Hi, not Paul. Hi Nick. How are you?
Good.
Good. I still have to get used to because I see you there. I can't watch you, but I have to look at here. So, so how's it going?
Oh, fine. We had a lot of exciting games again today.
Cool, and it's exciting to show the chess room again, and it's exciting to be here. So.
Hey,
Giving Paul a little bit of break.
we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
It's been a while since we've kind of like sat.
Yeah,
here.
I know.
And it's kind of fun, like you were mentioning earlier, just having the players come in and
Yeah.
talk about their own games.
Yeah, I was
and-
so excited to hunt players down first time in over what, almost 2 years.
And
Or
Judith,
2.5.
Judith's
one
an
and a half.
expert at hunting players down.
Yes.
I remember when we had the mechanics Rapid and Blitz, and she left the room, and next thing you know, she's bringing Fabiano Caruana
Well, yeah.
and says, "Sit in that chair." And
Yeah, I know. So, the reason I was telling Paul if he needs to break, we would love to discuss our upcoming events.
Oh, absolutely.
So we will be quite busy. If you're watching and if you're an adult, we will have a Thanksgiving
Or a kid.
a Thanksgiving tournament. I don't. Maybe it's the first time in mechanics' history. I don't know.
I think so. Do you
Yeah.
remember, Nick? At
I
Mechanics,
believe it's the first time.
I think it's the first time. Yeah.
Okay. That's what we were talking with Paul as well, and so it will be a 3-day tournament, 2 rounds each day, and gaming 90 plus 30-second increment, and we will have all the sections FIDE rated. So no matter what sections you're at, it should give you a good chance to get a FIDE rating. And Friday we start in the afternoon, so to allow you to sleep in after Thanksgiving dinner.
Let the
and
food settle.
yes, and then Saturday and Sunday 2 rounds each. So it's a six round tournament, very affordable prices for entry fees, and decent price fund, I hope.
And some of the parents were saying they like this format because it's 2 games in a day.
Yeah.
Because squeezing 3 in a day is like very tiring,
Yeah.
and we tried that, and it was pretty exhausting both for the
Yes.
players and
Yeah.
the TDs.
Yeah.
But it's super exciting. So like we were saying, the first round is going to be afternoon 1:30. Start time for the first round, and then the next 2 days it's going to be 10 a.m. 2:30. So back to sort of the standard normal schedule after that. So the Mechanics Gobbler Open.
Gobbler Open, yeah.
And we got some giveaway prizes in the spirit of Thanksgiving. We got 3 signed copies of John Donaldson's book.
Yeah. Let's.
Yeah, they're right.
Do you have them?
Yeah, they're right.
Show them, and
All
actually
3.
signed by John himself. So come and get it.
So yeah, come get the gifts. They're like right here, and just so you know, there it is right there.
The proof.
The proof is in the pudding. So thanks, John, for providing the support, and we'll have some other fun giveaways. They're going to be raffled off in some way. We want to have fun and do something for our chess community over the Thanksgiving break. We're ready to have some fun. So it's exciting.
And obviously we do follow protocols, so you do have to wear your masks, and it will be safe. As Tuesday night, we have been doing Tuesday night since June, and we really didn't have any outbreaks, any positive cases. So we are very, very thankful for the community, for their support, and really diligence to follow rules. And I'm kind of hoping this will give a lot of positive reassurance for all others who are hesitant to come, then to maybe try it out this coming weekend.
And
next weekend.
and our players have been responsible too. There was one case where a player thought they might have been exposed, so they bowed out of coming and things like that. So combination of responsibility and precautions we have here. Good.
And then after Thanksgiving, we will have our another 1-day tournament on Saturday. And that's our usual 4-round gaming 45 with delay 5. That's on Saturday, and then the next weekend after, we're going to have the quads, the very popular quads.
Championship quads.
If anyone just wants to have a half-a-day tournament with 3 rounds, gaming 30, it is USCF regular rated as well as quick rated, but it is affecting your US Chess regular ratings. So very cool and fast way to get in some good games, and we have seen some really strong showing of strong players, and hopefully it will continue.
Yeah, it's been pretty incredible, and I just want to give a shout out, if you're still watching and following, Aaron Craig, 3-0 in the quads.
Yeah.
And you had some heart-stopping moments in those, like 2 seconds left, and then found mate on the board,
Okay.
things like that. So, but yeah, these quads are like absolutely incredible. Like we're just getting incredible turnout for these. And even this past weekend, I mean, there's a tournament in the big tournament in South Bay. Berkeley's got their weekender, and we still get like 35 for the quads. Like it's like amazing. So championship quads that week, and then
after we are celebrating former director John Donaldson, and hopefully he will show up and play a few rounds.
He'll come. he will come. I remember one year we had the John Donaldson Championship. He actually came and played the first round.
Yeah.
in person. So
And after that, we are off for 2 weeks.
yeah, and then basically we're shut down.
Yeah.
I think Paul will be here. Oh no, we're not shut down. What are we talking about? We're gonna have like kids camps and
Yeah,
stuff.
but we are done with weekend
Yeah, the
tournaments.
tournaments. Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, guys, get your gear on and come back and play.
So
we were just laid out our 4-week play.
we did our sales pitch, and now back to the chess. Thanks,
The
everyone.
chess pitch.
The chess pitch.
You know, working for big chess like we do, you know.
The machine and the man.
Hey, Nick.
Well, the Godler Open coming up. First Thanksgiving tournament ever for the mechanics.
Is that right? Wow.
Yeah.
The first ever Thanksgiving
I
tournament.
think so. That's what we talked, right?
Huh.
It's good.
Amazing. Yeah, well, Hungary has this player that's 5-0 in the European Team Championship. This is not looking good for white here. Let's-
No. Yeah, it middle game, promising mid games.
Now, Elliot's in the think tank here, and that's an interesting decision. He could have just played Rook C6, Rook B4, Rook A6. I think that I guess then Rook D4. What would have been wrong with that?
That would have won. Like,
Yeah.
he wants to play like Capablanca. Activate the king, get that F pawn going, and fight for the deckmate.
So after King F5, Rook D4, what's the point here?
Yeah, that's. I think he's made a little conflict. King F5 with D4 means, okay, he can play just king to E6, and that's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, white would have been just 2 clear pawns ahead the other way. I guess this way is going to be the same.
Here's a go rook to D4. Well, king G5 is a little risky. Probably wins also with mating threats with the F pawn, but rook D4, king. Okay. Now that one, you want to go king G6. King G6 versus king F6.
You mean King F8?
On F5.
Elliot's just going to win in this way.
Okay, well that's, yeah.
There's no defense. Pawn F5, F6, and Rook C8 check, right?
Yeah, this is yeah, pawn F5 looks blue. Pawn F5, he has to go rook to A1. You know, there's still a few chances, not many.
All right, let's move on for a second here. This is completely lost, probably resigned. I think white must have resigned in board 3.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah,
He should.
And Guy Argo has just played knight E4 against Christian Clemons.
The great game, Christian Clemons, Guy Argo. I knew it was going to be a highly entertaining battle. This move is terrific. So,
Yeah.
pawn takes H5, knight F2, checkmate. Bishop E1 looks. Oh. Okay, but let's say now pawn takes E4, queen E4 check, rook G2. Pawn takes E4 with a monster pawn roller coming.
That's a
probably
nice
good-
looking move.
Good for
Very
black.
strong looking move.
Bishop B2, Bishop B1, Knight F2 check, Bishop F2, Pawn F2, Rook.
Black can take on E2 then. Or maybe he can't because of, oh yeah, maybe he can't.
Yeah, so nice shot, Knight E4.
Yeah? All right, I'm going to quickly roll back up to board one. Black didn't play Rook A1, played Rook A2. Elliot made it a little difficult for himself, I think. What do you think, Nick? F6, Rook E2 check, King D6, Rook back to F2.
Yeah, that's
That's annoying. Oh, I guess the king can go back to E6 and then on Rook E2 check go back to F6.
maybe
It should be a win for white one way or another, I think.
yes, maybe King D6. It takes a little technique now, and which I'm sure Elliot is up to, but it looks like it could have been just really easy win. And so we may come back and see if with a little slip up by white, this get very complicated.
All right, we have these two games going.
Only 2 games left.
Yep.
Okay. But this is a shot there. Knight to E4.
I mean, let's go back a few moves because we saw this. Maybe King H1 is not necessary here. I kind of failed to see the point of it almost. It's look, you know what I mean, Nick? What does it do?
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything. It's
maybe
a
like
wasted move.
Rook D4 might be a good
Yeah,
move.
put the rook somewhere on the D file. King H1 is looks like a wasted move to me. Whoops. We saw this game. F4, G4, and now H5. That looks good. The white king, the formation. It's funny that king on G2 and the pawn at G3 was better than this.
Yes.
I think. This is riskier for white. Already there's problems here. Wham! Nice move. White got snookered there a little bit. All right, let's go on to Winslow's game. How difficult can this be? Okay, Mike Walter's pointing out a variation here. Bishop E1, knight F2. Bishop F2. EF. Rook F1, Rook E2, Queen C6. Why is that so great? Oh, Queen C8. And then if King H7. Can we just back up a minute here? Why did Elliot do this? Right here. Can't White just play Rook C6 and eliminate the A pawn? And that's the game over, right? Or even Rook A7. Rook A7, Rook B4, Rook A6. What could be clear? What could be more obvious than that? And then the D6 pawn falls for the A pawn, and you've got. Right, Nick?
Yeah.
Just Rook A7.
He's got the king in the game, so
Okay.
it should be enough anyway.
White is still in the think tank here.
One moment.
I mean, isn't black... Okay, so... Yeah, Bishop E1 is forced here. I mean... If you take on E4, Queen E4 and H takes G4, it just looks devastating. Although I guess you could play Queen B1 or something like that. Well, Rook C8 makes a lot of sense to force the king away. And now what, F6? Is Elliot just making this harder for himself? F6, Rook E2 check, and King G6? And now Rook E2 check, King takes D6, King G6. Black, the problem is Black is just going to get the Lucina, the wrong side of the Lucina position anyway, so. Even if he did somehow manage to win the F6 pawn for the D6 and A6 pawn. Am I right, Nick? Nick's gone. Okay, Nick's taking a break. I'm talking to the wall.
Is he there? Or?
No, he'll be back.
Oh, okay.
The Cavan Reese won against David Askin. When David misfired his attack. So my question is that even if black wins the f pawn for the d6 pawn and the a6 pawn, it's still going to be the Lucina position at the end of this.
I guess black can't hold on to that h pawn, the a pawn. It's
still going to be some kind of, the Lucina position, and
yeah, it's if you, let's see, if you did rook to e2 check, king d6, king to g6,
rook a8.
okay, then you have to hold on to that a pawn, otherwise you lose. So you go rook back to a2, guarding it. And
I see.
If the white king comes back, it's rook e2 check to drive away. So you're trying desperately to hold on. It's
okay.
And yeah, it should be lost, but there's still some hope. If you're going to get that f pawn, and the pawns are even, that white d pawn's long advanced. Okay, he played it. Got to do what you got to do. So king d6, king g6. Let's find a win. Rook to maybe rook to c6.
I was just looking at that, yeah.
And then
if a5, king c7.
King c7, and it looks like the d pawn will
go through.
And is there any sleeves left? Okay, rook c6, pawn to a5, I guess. But no, then d6 wins.
King f7 allows rook e5, right? I mean, that might win too. But
so our line is king d6, king
g6,
d6, rook c6. And
if king f6, king c7 check and d6.
Or even just rook takes a6.
Yeah. That's the idea.
Position.
Right. So black has to hold on to that a pawn at all costs.
So must go pawn to a5, and maybe we'll go rook to a6, and you have to guard it with rook to a2, and then king c6, and it's just getting too difficult for black. Wonderful king position, advanced pawns. But okay, let's go king to the line is king g6. So king takes d6, king g6, rook c6, pawn a5, rook to a6, rook back to a2, king c7. You can go rook c7.
Maybe you go king d7, because you've got plenty of time, right? Or you could go king back to e7.
Oh, king e7.
Yeah.
That's.
And then you can interpose your rook even.
Yeah.
King e7 threatens f7 check.
King e7 is really bad. Very nice. Very nice.
But you have to find that rook c6 move.
Rook c6 seems to close it down, which with 18 minutes left, we expect Mr. Winslow to accomplish.
And you got to feel for what's happened here. Oh, okay. So after 94, Rook D5 was played. Wait a minute. What happens if Knight F2 check and then H takes G4? I will never know. He played H takes G4 right now. Then the bishop went back.
Oh, this is getting exciting.
Yeah.
Argo one.
Okay.
Yeah, black one.
Black one. Oh, it's mate. Nice. Nice.
Do you want to bring him in?
Sure, if he wants to come in. Yeah.
Oh, nice game, my
I
God.
think Guy Argo is coming in.
That was the move of the round at 94.
You and Guy want to go in?
If that's okay?
Yeah, they're both coming.
Okay, we got Christian Clemons and Guy Argo coming in here.
Yeah.
All right, it's the Mechanics Institute masked. Who was that masked man? All right. Okay, guys, run us
Can I
through.
pull over here? Can I see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's see.
I want to make sure everything.
We got to make sure.
Yeah.
Everybody's
Make sure you
in.
take them back.
Yeah. All right, so help us.
Oh, it's a pretty standard Dutch.
No, Black got a nice game out of the opening, for sure.
I think we played this last time.
Did we?
Maybe not Bishop B7. Yeah, this looked pretty standard. So
Yeah,
I wasn't sure about this.
I'm not a big fan of you giving up your fianchetto.
Yeah, I figured you were gonna.
As an attacker, I like to see that sort of thing.
Yeah, you know, the reason I did it was I thought you would play D6, and then you've got 4 pawns on dark squares, and I figured you probably wish you had your light square bishop then. But I'm not sure if that was right.
What does white usually try here? Something like pawn to d5, and if e takes d5, knight to d4.
I missed it. I knew D5 was a
Those are
normal
the
idea,
sometimes
but I didn't know
the
how to
right
follow it
moves.
up. Yeah.
I don't know. But Black got a great game out of this opening.
Yeah, I don't think I ever really got into this. So F3.
That was a good trade, and Black just plays very straightforward, kind of Queen's Indian strategy here.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, as a Dutch player, if you can get E4, E5 in,
Yeah.
you're usually pretty happy. And I thought I was winning a pawn when you played the C5 thing, and I missed that you could grab
Oh,
it
yeah.
on the C7. But then I was like, well, that's going to cost him some time.
It did, yeah. So if you go a little bit later. So I traded here because I figured if I have the bishop, I need to open things up a little bit.
That's probably that's good thinking.
Even if I have to weaken C5.
And I agree.
But the problem is I don't think here I'm in time to play. I'm not in time to play E4 now. That's
You're
the
not.
problem.
Yeah, it's true.
What about that? I
Yeah.
don't
What
know
about that?
But
What do
else
you
should
think,
I-
Nick? What
else
should
I
what
play?
should white play here? Rook to D1.
Oh, I didn't realize Nick's on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Notice
but
him.
I'm just like,
it's still okay for white. You know, the pieces are fine. You know, but
I was comfortable, but I didn't think it was better.
So I looked at a lot of moves here. Rook AE1, but I also looked at Knight F2, which is kind of meek, I thought. But
well, if you can't play E4, then I'm not sure what the point of Rook AE1 is.
it seems the rook might be better on the D file.
yeah, and I wish it were on the D file later
Yeah.
because it never did anything on E1.
All right, so yeah, okay, so
So
there we
maybe
go.
Rook AD1 or
There we got the Grandmaster chiming in
yeah,
with a Rook D1 move.
So I also looked at I looked at C5 right here actually instead of Rook AE1. But I thought I lost a pawn after E4.
Okay. Yeah, Black's play is good here.
And what about here? Should I?
Yeah, maybe knight e5, right? Opening up the diagonal.
So what I calculated was
Opening
knight takes e5.
Yeah, we
And
can't
he can't play queen takes c4. So then if he plays knight takes e5, queen takes, and if he takes on c4, I think I.
No, the plan was to double. The plan was to double and force you to play f4.
Ah, okay. So yeah, knight
That's
takes
actually
c5.
not a bad idea either.
Probably
And
rook.
then my knight can jump into g4 and cause mischief, and probably get the pawn back to boot.
Well, if you play so I calculated that. So knight takes e5. If you play rook, let's say rook fe8 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
f4, and then if you want to play knight g4, then knight takes g4, queen takes e3, knight takes e3,
That's
rook
good
takes
for
e3.
black. I mean, good for white.
rook
So-
f3. Yeah.
So
And then I think that's
I
okay.
think I do one exchange first before I do the knight g.
okay, so
I think so, too.
95, knight
So
e5, rook fe8, f4, knight takes e5.
No, I think if the knight's taking the pawn, I would.
Take it on e5 and then take on c4.
Did I have to be careful with the queen takes?
I think it's still
seems-
probably an
seems
even
okay.
game, but maybe
Yeah.
you should do that just to make it simpler for yourself.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
thought it was a little bit risky because if I miss any calculations there, then I lose a piece pretty much. And
Well, not if you can play f4. What do you
right,
think?
that's true.
Nick? Oh,
Yeah, I would tend to play knight e5 just to keep that bishop more open.
Yeah, and it gets rid of his central pawn. I guess that's true. So I played b3 because I want to play c5, and now he can't take on a2. Not that that's a real big threat anyway. But I thought that was a really good move. I didn't know what to do. Did I play c5 here?
yeah.
There was also some amusement where if he tried to come out to g5,
Mm-hmm.
I could play h6, and then if he went to g6,
Yeah.
knight f8 trapped it.
Right.
Ah. I was going right back to c1 if you did that.
Speaking of that move.
Oh yeah, so right before I took 11 minutes on this. Right before I played c5, I realized he could play knight d5. I decided to do it anyway, and I'm not sure that was a very good idea. Yeah.
Well, this all kind of came
But this
got
turned out okay,
balanced.
didn't it?
Yeah, I think this had a logical flow to it.
But I like my rooks better than his. His are sort of stuck behind this pawn.
But we still thought
I still
it
don't.
was probably balanced here.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think I still not going to claim I'm ahead here, but I do like.
Now we thought black should play h6, which is a good move for black anyway, because
I
the
thought
king can
that-
go to
I thought that was
h7.
fine. I figured if he plays g6, then I always have the idea of going like bishop a1 and queen c3. And if he plays queen g6 now,
Why didn't you trade queens?
I didn't like this endgame.
No, it's not. It can't be that bad, right, Nick?
It's
See, I don't
a
wanna-
matter of choice. If you like end games or middle games, they're both about equal.
Okay.
I like endgames, but not this one because he has a d file, doesn't he? And I'm not sure what
Yeah,
I
but
can really do. I can't trade on e4.
yeah, I
because
mean
that-
it's a tough position where neither player can really,
Yeah, I thought my knight was good enough to compensate for the bishop.
But Guy, I
Yeah.
want to say that we liked h6 and king h7 here, and
that would have been
maybe
really good.
to sort of.
Because you also have kind of a strategic threat of trading on f3 and then that weakens the d3 square.
That's true too.
And I'm just kind of keeping it alive. I'm just okay for now. Yeah, so now you take it off the file, and here I'm threatening bishop takes a5.
Yeah, although maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, we just were thinking this was a tough little game here without. And
Yeah,
this
so
changed
here-
the.
What did you guys think of that? Because when
Nick
I-
didn't like it.
This
Nick
was
didn't.
Guy playing for the win.
Yeah, because I was actually about to offer a draw earlier, and
And because I was like 30 minutes up on the clock, I was like, let's pressure him.
I figured you weren't going to take it.
You made you went wrong right away. This was a good move,
Yeah.
and then when you play
And
here,
then-
you should play rook d5 or something here, or rook d4,
Did I play
because
king h1?
Yeah,
because
'cause
f4 you have no worries about f4.
It's
Right,
still
but that's what I thought.
it's still a bit speculative.
This king and pawn formation is good. You
Right,
chose
I-
to change it
with G4. Well, I
with
think G4
G4
was the
was a
problem.
mistake, but
Because King H1, I actually
King
thought
H1 we didn't
this
like.
wasn't strategically very good because now I open up his G file. So what about pawn takes F4? What did I do here?
Well,
That-
King should remain on G2. King is good
Yeah,
on
the king was a
okay,
good
all right,
defender. The
all
king
right,
was
and then
like
let it trade.
strong there.
What you
Because
need
now
to
when
do
I
is
play
that
F4, that the G pawn is hit twice, so you have to do something.
you
But
should
what if,
activate the white rooks.
Yeah,
Okay.
activate these rooks, double on the D file, right? Make
Yeah,
these
that's
pieces
fair.
work.
Yeah, I ran out
Instead,
of
this
ideas.
was the wrong idea. Now
Well,
black
what-
is definitely better, I think. Now.
What I planned to play, I also calculated
I mean-
rook G1 and also G takes F4. So what if I take
Yeah,
the pawn
those
on
were
F4?
those.
Is that okay?
That's true. That looks better, maybe.
And then what were you gonna play if I took on F4? Knight E6 probably.
Well, then you can play Queen E3. Yeah, taking on F4 looks good. Looks better.
Yeah, the point was if
And
I
if
take
rook
on
F4, rook G1.
and then I win the point. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why I changed my mind here. I think I thought my bishop is good on the dark squares and I can always just kind of defend them. But clearly
It's a
they've
good
been calculating
point.
this for a
It's
while.
a good
yeah.
point. Taking on F4 would have been, or rook G1 would have been better, maybe.
Rook G1
Although
was
rook G1 might allow Knight E4 again. Knight E4 was a terrific shot.
and he played it about half a second.
Yeah, well,
Because I thought about playing it here, and I was like, no, let's lure the if we can lure the rook to the G file, it's going to be even better.
Yeah,
I think looks like you're lost.
I
right?
didn't.
If
look
you
at
play
that
bishop
calculation.
E1, Knight F2 check, takes,
Um,
F4.
What if I take the knight on E4, then queen takes E4, rook G2, and then
H takes G4, I think.
Yeah,
And
then you're getting pawn avalanche and your king's getting attacked.
but then I planned king
Queen
G1.
B1 maybe, yeah, or King G1. Yeah, you should look at that. It's better than
Oh, you know, I calculated
it's
this because it's better than that.
this.
But I calculated it if I instead took the knight, if I played F takes E4, Queen takes E4 check, Rook G2, H takes G4, King G1. I'm threatening to take on G4.
Mm-hmm.
F3. Then I was gonna play E takes F3, and if he played G takes F3, then I had an open attack on G7. But I didn't realize until the end.
The rook's at
his rook's
F7.
still there on F7.
You might
That's why I
have to.
didn't do
You
that,
might have
no.
to do something like F takes E4, Queen E4 check, Rook G2 takes there, and then play Queen B1 or something. I don't know.
Even then, the ending was just all sorts of
Bad.
trickiness.
What if I
But
give up the exchange?
you could have done.
Well, what if I just do nothing about it and give up the exchange, like Rook G2 or something?
I mean, that still doesn't really solve your problems because then the G pawn starts to hang.
Yeah,
so if I
Rook
play Rook
G5
G2,
didn't
okay,
do
no,
anything.
that was nothing.
Yeah.
That didn't.
In fact, you basically give me a free move because
Yeah.
now if you take the knight,
Yeah.
I've got queen check picking up the rook,
Yeah.
so you just made everything stronger.
Yeah, I should have put it somewhere else, shouldn't I? What if like Rook D4?
I
or
mean,
something?
bishop.
don't know.
It's either bishop E1 or take the knight.
I think I need to suck it up and play Bishop G1 and then just lose a pawn here, maybe lose my E2 pawn. But that's pretty scary.
Yeah, because the E rook is, yeah, exactly, the E rook comes in,
So
and,
like
and now
Rook
all my
takes
pieces are
E7.
pointed at your king.
Bishop E1, Knight F2 check.
Anyway, you guys should
Yeah.
look. You guys should check that out. Meanwhile, what happened on board one here? We have the Lucina position. Nick.
Well, I think Mr. Winslow knows how to win this one.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh yeah, King C8.
I don't
Rook
think.
A6.
Oh, has he blown it?
I think just Rook A6.
Oh no,
check
Rook
should be fine.
A6 check. What am I talking about? I'm looking at I'm looking at something completely different. Okay, Elliot. Good game, you guys.
Thank you. It was an interesting one.
Yeah. Do either of you guys play in Berkeley? Do you play in Berkeley?
I
Are you
never
playing in
have,
Berkeley
no.
I think I played like one tournament in Berkeley.
But not.
Maybe someday. I think it's on Friday nights, right?
Yeah,
Usually.
Friday
The-
nights.
It's a little tough for me right now. But
The one time I tried Berkeley, it was like stuffed with juniors.
Well, they got Michael Walzer, Elliot playing over
okay.
there, and
Yep.
and also
Yeah, I played
Frank
in one
Foreman.
tournament and I had all these underrated juniors that I was playing. It was
yeah,
miserable.
that sounds about right.
sounds
yeah.
horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you guys for showing up. So, Nick, we're entering the final stretch here with International Master Elliot Winslow. Oh, what happened? Oh, I went to round 4, which hasn't started yet. Where am I?
Went to round 4. You mean that the so it's the game is done then, I guess. Probably he resigned. They went to round 4.
Where am I? Let's see. Round 3. Elliot Winslow. Huh. Whoops. Okay. Why are we're in round 3. Click on I gotta refresh. There we go.
Yes, Aaron Crick, we went through Adam's game. It was great entertainment.
Yeah, it was.
And they came in and gave us their own personal notes on it.
So what is Elliot thinking about here? He just has to play Rook A6 and King C7, right?
Yeah.
And by God, he does it. No, we went over Adam Riccato's game. And
But
now,
yes, it was Guy needed to, it was Guy who sacked the knight on E4 and Adam, oh no, I'm sorry. That was
Adam
Guy.
Riccato played the King's Indian defense.
Right. That was that fantastic back and forth game that ended in a draw.
Well, this game is almost over here. In fact, it looks Elliot's got his choice of winning moves. He can go to the queen side or the king side.
Yeah, King C7, Rook to C7 check, King to B7, Rook B2 check, Rook B6, who's on.
Or he can play the other way.
The other way works just as well, although there's Rook G7 check, I don't know.
And then he can triangulate out.
Yeah, just it works.
So, why are rook endings so difficult, Nick?
Oh, well, people learn them.
Yes, they do. They learn them.
And 8 minutes left, yes. Adam Stafford. We didn't go over Adam Stafford's games.
I think we did.
Did?
Yeah, it was this game right here. This game that finished like this. Here,
Let's see that.
I'll go all the way back. This game, remember this game?
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
I mean, we didn't go over it that carefully. The opening, I think White misplayed the opening here clearly. At this point, maybe he should take on b4 and play knight d1. That's possible. Anyway, he doesn't have to do it, but and here he should definitely play knight takes a5 and preserve the pawn structure, right? But instead he takes that way. I mean, maybe this is a interesting attacking way to play. It's not that bad.
You can try it. You can try it.
h3 though, that looks a little slow.
Or just the queen. I might go pawn to c4.
Pawn to c4. I like that. Trying to clamp down on squares. All right, h3, knight e5, f4. Okay.
It was an entertaining game.
Yeah, e5. Okay, so one player has the light squares and an extra pawn, and one player has the dark squares and more space.
But you know, it's some compensation in this endgame with the dark squares. Castles, I'm not sure about.
Yeah, this game. And Elliot wins an ice. Anyway, this is how this game went. And we looked at it. I think Black missed a chance here. In this position, he should have played king f5. And Elliot won his game. So I think we're done.
Well, another exciting Tuesday night in downtown San Francisco.
And for the staff at the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, there's a lot of us working hard. I'm looking around at some of the play. So I'm going to say goodnight for everybody, and I'll figure out how to transition out of here. And
Good night, Mike.
Good night, good night, Nick. You can see the playing hall is emptying out, and everyone's ready to go home. It's almost 10:30 here.
Night.
So, and here's
Juan is still there.
there's Juan Centejas, everybody, yeah, representing. All right. So, stop. Good night, everybody.